It's interesting. It's a new year, and I didn't make any New Year resolutions, but I find that I'm defaulting to some of the things that I said I wouldn't do. Not resolutions, just things. And this morning, I'm awake. I've taken a shower. I'm ready to go, especially because I'm accountable to a friend of mine who's come to visit me. It's kind of amazing. I'm in another friend's house and I found myself wishing people Happy New Year's. This friend of mine happened to be in Tokyo, Japan. Amazing. I don't think I've spoken to her in about maybe 2, 3, 4 years, maybe. And I just decided to reach out and say Happy New Year. To my shock, the very day I said Happy New Year, there was an earthquake in Japan. So I sent another text and I says, hey, hope you're okay. And she said, all right, I'm getting on my flight tomorrow and headed back to the United States. Long story short, I sent a text and said, have a safe trip. The moment she landed in the United States, she sent me a text. And here's what the text said. 15 minutes after we took off, there was a plane crash in the airport in Japan. And the airport was closed for 3 hours. Now, think of it. Here was I've known this lady, we've talked, we met at a Brendan Bashard mastermind, and we hadn't been in contact for 3 years or more. I happened to send her a text wishing her Happy New Year. She happened to be in Tokyo, Japan. A few minutes later, there happened to be an earthquake. I sent another text to make sure she was okay. She said she was coming to the United States the next day. 15 minutes after she took off from that airport, there was a plane wreck. 2 planes collided. And the airport was closed for 3 hours. This year just started, and there's so many things I have gone through. One of the things I know is you cannot predict the things that are going to happen. The only thing you can predict is the response you have to the crisis. Let me ask you this. Are you prepared for a response that would help you no matter what happens to you this year? Last night was a little rough for me, but this morning I decided, that's the first step, that I would prepare myself for whatever comes. And the only way that I know to prepare yourself is using my experience as an emergency medicine physician. I do know we have what is called a crash cart. It's a cart that has all the things necessary should someone come in with a cardiac problem, a heart problem. We also have mock sceneries where we simulate someone coming and we do step by step the things that we need to do to help that person, to diagnose them either with a heart attack or a brain attack, which is a stroke, so that we can effectively send them to the correct facility should there be a higher level for where we are. We often do it over and over again, and sometimes it feels so redundant. Why are we doing these mock practices? For what? But I can tell you this. On the one day that we have the crisis, on the one day that someone walks into that emergency department, on the one day they come in by private car, and I live in rural America, and most of our emergencies, true emergencies, come by private car. We're prepared. And the moment we see the patient and start the process, we have muscle and brain memory. Because we have practiced over and over again these different scenarios, when the scenario comes, it becomes easier to flow, each as an individual part of a team and together as a team. Let me ask you this. what mock practices should you have for the crisis you're going to have this January and the rest of the year? I'm not a doom gloom person. This is reality. Like reality. You're going to face stuff, but you need to be prepared. One of the ways I know to prepare is to use what I call the mask method. Yep, I know some of you don't believe in masks. That's not what this is about today. It's about things to mask your mind so that you can unmask your potential. Here's one thing I know. What you think makes you feel. What you feel makes you do. And what you do makes you have. It doesn't matter what happens to you. I'm saying that over and over again. It matters how you respond, which means you already have been responsible to craft the way you're going to act or react. Reaction is an impulsive, unscripted, and usually detrimental way of allowing crisis to shape how you act. But response is something that is crafted. That's why in hospitals, they have the first response team. It is a team that responds to a particular crisis. You will have crisis. I'm saying that over again. And crisis for each person is different. For someone, it might be their nail. They had gone to the salon, got their nails done, and one of them broke. To them, it's a crisis. For some other person, it's going to be a diagnosis you get from the doctors. From some other person, you don't even get a diagnosis, but you see stuff happen. Oh, I digress, but let me talk about this real quick. In the last 3 years, I've been diagnosed with psoriasis. I didn't pay attention to it because guess what? Big deal. Until 3 times last year, I couldn't walk. Then I started having stuff on my face. That ailment, I will not wish it on my worst enemy. I started being responsible the end of last year. I have not touched meat products. And when I say meat, I'm talking about pork, beef. I have not had sugar. I'm telling you. I have not had white rice, white flour, white bread, anything made white. No pizza, no nothing. No ice cream. It has been difficult, but not. Because today, I can see and I can feel the changes in my body. I also take my supplements like I'm supposed to. My vitamin D and other supplements I'll talk about in another video. But here's what I want you to know. When I was not prepared, when I was reacting, the crisis continued and continued and continued. But the moment I took a decision and started crafting my response ability, my ability to respond correctly, guess what? I am doing it that it is almost becoming, when I say almost becoming, an automatic response. You got to meditate every day. The reason you meditate is not because you want to be some guru. It's because your thoughts are toxic for the most part. And meditating is like taking a mental shower. You delete what is not serving you, and then you begin to input the things that would help you. When I wake up every morning, I remind myself, no sugar, eat healthy foods. Is it hard? Nah. It's just a different perspective. I also talk to myself every single morning. Like this morning, it took me a little bit to get out of bed, but I told myself, yes, you can. Yes, you can do your laundry. Yes, you can. The only person you listen to consistently is yourself. Let me say that one more time. The only person you listen to consistently is yourself. It doesn't matter what people say about you. The moment you buy into what they say, good or bad, you craft your life. It took me a long time to understand that I am the one who speaks to myself, good or bad. No matter what people call me, if I don't call myself the same, it can't affect or infect me. So like I said earlier, you meditate first and then affirmations. The next thing is sleep. Let me tell you, when you don't sleep enough, you're like a drunk. Actually, you're like someone high on drugs. Your brain craves sleep. It is a natural, what do I call it? Antidepressant, a natural energy booster. Everybody argues that they need only 2 hours of sleep, but I can tell you, your body knows when you're rested. I sleep about 6 to 8 hours. When I sleep 4 hours, I'm a wreck, complete wreck. And that's who you are. Now, the last thing, which is the hardest for me, I don't know about you, is to be kind. Not to other people first, but to yourself. Here's what it is. The kindness I give to me is the kindness I'm able to give to someone else. Like I said earlier, you will have crisis in 2024. That is not a negative prediction. That is life. Life will happen to you or for you. If you decide life happens for you, makes no difference what it is, you will have a response that will craft it. Helen Keller was said to be deaf, dumb, blind, and mute. But she went to college and she had a fruitful career because of one person. She had a nurse who believed in her and helped her use her inabilities to become her stepping stones. Every person that has done well has overcome obstacles. Obstacles make you strong. They make you go inside and find the strength that you really have. So let me ask you this one more time. How are you preparing for what will be a crisis for you in 2024? If you fail to go within, you will go without. And I'm telling you straight up. We just started the year. Stuff has happened. How are you responding? It's not about New Year resolutions. It's about this is the only life you have. It's not a dress rehearsal. This is the real deal. We are on stage, full-blown, having a Broadway play. And it's one time, one take, that's it. Will you mask your mind so you can unmask your potential? Will you meditate every day? Will you affirm yourself? Nobody's going to do it. And you need to sleep. Come on now. Kindness to yourself is the only way that you attract kindness into your life. My name, Falaki Olupo. And this is my video. Subscribe and I'll see you in my next video that will be talking about sleep as a weapon. See you later.